Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today it's about the Delay Plus device, everything I know so far. Bitwig Studio 4.3 released yesterday, so it's probably not much, but I want to show you anyway. So I have here Polymer running with a small little sine partial. This is how it sounds dry. So just a sine, nothing special. And we have the new Delay Plus here. And I go back to the default setting here. And it behaves normally like a tape echo or delay plugin you know from somewhere else. So we have some synchronized delay tabs here. We have a feedback setting. And if you bring up the mix here to 100%, you don't really hear the try signal anymore. You can see here, sound is going in, and then we have a delay of 16 notes. And then we hear the output. So you don't hear any input at all. But we have now here this envelope follower called ducking. So when we bring this up, every time we bring in a sound, the mix knob is dialed down. So we hear the try signal, and then after the try signal is ended, we bring in back the wet signal. So now you can hear here the sound going in. If we bring this down, you need to wait until you hear the wet signal. So the ducking basically brings down the mix knob every time an input signal is going into the delay plugin. So you don't need to use a sidechain modulator for that. So it's perfectly nicely integrated with this. Another different thing is when you have delay tabs running and you change the delay times, you can hear there's no pitch change happening. That's because when you select Delay Plus and go into the inspector of the left side, you can see on changes fade and on changes free pitch are these two options you can choose from. So fade is basically what we have right now. So every time a change happens, we fade between the different settings and different outcomes of these settings. When you switch to repitch, we can hear pitch changes. So it behaves kind of like a tape delay. And in my head, it's more like repitch is just one instance of Delay Plus, and fade creates multiple instances of Delay Plus in the background and fades between these different instances, so you can't hear any pitch change. So every time you make a change to the Delay Plus device, you recreate in the background basically a new instance with this new setting and with this new outcome, and then you blend between these different instances. That's how I imagine it. I don't know if it actually works that way, but this is how I imagine it. So the fade setting is pretty nice for when you want to modulate the delay time, of course. So when you use your random mod, you can change here this one here and just play along, and then we change here, as you can see, the delay times, and we have no pitch alteration whatsoever. So it's a nice rainmaker, basically. And maybe we can also here switch between these two options here. Let's go for that. And when we change this back to repitch, you can hear that we have basically just one tape delay, and when we change the delay speed, then of course we change the pitch. It's maybe not that not that great in all cases. So you switch this to repitch, to fade, and then we have the update rate, and this is basically hard to explain. The update rate is probably, that's what I imagine, how often Delay Plus checks when something changes in the settings here. So we have modulated here basically the delay times, and it checks here in 2 Hertz. I think this is 2 times per minute, if I'm not wrong. 2 times per minute or second, I have no idea. If something is changed here, and if something is changed, then it creates a new iteration or a new instance of this delay plugin and applies the new changes to that new device and then fades between these devices. This probably becomes also more interesting when you modulate here the manual time setting. Also, we have here stereo to detune, which is kind of interesting. So you can apply some difference between the delay times on the left and the right channel, which makes it probably super stereo here. Just 2 milliseconds difference between the left and right channel. There's also a freeze setting here, so we can freeze the delay loop or the feedback loop. And we can also modulate this, which is nice. So we have occasionally some freezes happening here. It's beautiful. I love this device. It's probably now my favorite reverb and delay plugin or device in Bitwig Studio. It will probably replace my supermassive addiction. Probably. Okay, so now that we have this modulated here, we have also cross-feed modulation or cross-feed feedback. Which probably means that you feed the left channel into the right and the right channel goes into the left and so on. Let's look at the help here. Crossfeed stereo pattern routes feedback from the left channel to the right and vice versa. Yeah, you basically you have not one channel or left and right goes in left and right, so you basically crossfade, which makes it sometimes more interesting. Okay. We have also here a feedback FX box, and we can put everything in there we have available inside Bitwig Studio. And this can become quite interesting when you switch here to manual times. And you can create some interesting atmospheres with this, or sounds even. Maybe switch this to pitch here. And I haven't touched even yet the diffusion networks. because diffusion morphs your delay plus or delay plugin into a reverb. So we have here multiple options: soft, wide, still, space, and reverse. So I go with soft, and I show you this here with the delay. So we have a normal delay running, and then we can use the diffusion network to bring in diffusion to the delay tabs. Maybe go for space. You can hear it's kind of a reverb now. We can blend between a delay or echo, normal echo, and a delay plugin to a reverb. So this is the diffusion network. I kind of like all of these settings here because soft is more like short, and it's nice for maybe snare drums or shorter sounds or plug sounds. We go to fade here again. So let's modulate all of these parameters here randomly. So we have this. We have this here. Let's go to 2. Also modulate here the diffusion. Maybe go for wide. And maybe a bit here of the feedback. Not too much. Plugging is a bit on, so we can still hear the dry signal. And now we can play on the keyboard, or maybe actually make here a note clip so we can see what's going on. Dial in a bit of smoothness here for the modulators so we don't have not that instant changes. So the clicking goes away. Maybe also modulate here the freeze. Less feedback here. You can see just with these simple modulations here of this plugin, you can create so nice wide spaces. And all of these settings are changing constantly, randomly. And it sounds like it's almost alive. Let's bring in the pitch shifter here. Oh, let's switch this here to a different diffusion network. Maybe still or reverse. Sadly, you can't modulate here the network selector. You can only modulate the amount. Yeah, it's a perfect delay for me. Perfect delay reverb plugin for me. Yeah, we have also on the left side your level control, soft clip, hard clip, and compressor for the output, and the threshold. I think this is the same as this here, as this button. Yeah, crossfeed stereo. So this is nice, but I can also show you that's not interesting only for reverb and delay effects. You can also use this for sound designing. So I did this yesterday, and I started here with some, yeah, just a noise burst, so noise going into envelope and then to the output here. And then in the chain, the magic happens. I have some filters here, delay plus, it's the first one. In the FX box, I have pitch shifter, frequency shifter. So you can see modulated here, of course. Convolution, also here, it's modulated by the step mod. Distortion, filter, texture on top. So we get some metal plastic rattling on top. And then I have also some convolution again, another convolution plugin, also modulated here the mix knob. Then we are using here Spiff to bring out transients in the top end. Again, another delay plus, some different settings, another convolution device. And then I have a FX selector with multiple convolution devices in there with different impulse responses and switch between them. And at the end, you're just a compressor, multiband compressor. And yeah, this is how it sounds like. So when I disable some devices, you can hear it's white noise or pink noise. All the rest is coming from all these delay and convolution devices. So it's not only for reverb, it's making also nice rooms, nice tonality, nice texture. You can use it for sound designing. So it's all around useful. Okay, so back to our initial project here. So I want to give some inspiration, at least with this video, to show you that this is an interesting device and I love it. And there will be a lot of tutorials probably in the future to describe how everything works. But as of now, the description here and the help menu says a lot. Every parameter is described pretty clearly what it does. And yeah, it's up to you what you do with it. So yeah, that's the first Delay Plus video on my channel. I hope you liked it. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and bye.